But if you do not act in that consciousness, then you will be lost. And then Krishna will say, yes, that will come to the point of explaining the point of coming to surrender. So text 656 of this section. Sarva karmanapi sada kurvan mat yapashaya mat prasada papnoti shasvatam padam apyam. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and impersonal abode by my grace. That's, yes, he says. Mat prasada avapnoti, my mercy obtained. So, to be free from material contamination, a pure devotee acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord or his spiritual master. So that's our training as a devotee. Always, every moment thinking what pleases the spiritual master, what pleases Krishna, what are his instructions. Because to know what to do and not to do, one must know Krishna's instructions. One must know Krishna's instruction in Bhagavad Gita, must know Bhakti Shastri. Bhakti Shastri is not something that which we do aside. No, it's most important. Hearing from the spiritual master. Then we will understand how to act in Krishna consciousness. Because we must learn that to act always in Krishna consciousness. He is always 24 hours a day, 100% engaged in activities under the direction of the Supreme Lord. 100%. It's not that I'm doing that for Krishna and that for me, that for Krishna, that for me. No, 100% all for Krishna. But it's not a give and take policy. It's only giving. That to a devotee who is thus engaged in Krishna consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode, Krishna Loka. So that's the result of pure devotional service. That from the outside, everyone was thinking, oh, Vrikasura was a demon and now he's dying, or that Indra is cutting his throat, very good, the demon is dead. But Vrikasura was Vritrasura, so Vrikasura is someone else, another Vritrasura. Vritrasura went back to Godhead, and King Indra stayed rotting in this material world. So what's the result? Not by external results we can judge. That the result is transcendental reward of Krishna. But okay, we want to go back to the spiritual world, but then what was the essence of our practice to attain that? Secha sarva karmani mai sanyasya matpara buddhiyogama pasvita machita satatambhava. In all activities just depend on me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Fully conscious of Krishna in such devotional service. So, it's a very significant purport. Therefore I will read it. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. Yes. Just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. A servant acting on behalf of the Supreme Master is unaffected by profit and loss. If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. That's important. So we can have the same result as Arjuna if we follow Krishna's instructions in this book. That it indicates that one has no goal in life save and except in Krishna consciousness, just to satisfy Krishna. So that's the goal of life, directly defined. And while working in this way, one should think of Krishna only. I've been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. I've been appointed by Krishna to discharge this particular duty. So Krishna has appointed Sudam Prabhu to take care of the health of many people here. So you have been appointed by Krishna for that particular duty. So it's not ordinary work. We have been appointed by Krishna. So while acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. This is perfect Krishna consciousness. One should however note that after doing something whimsically, it should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. Whimsically. That this time let us use salt in the milk and then offer it to Krishna. No, that's whimsically. That will create serious problems. One should act according to the order of Krishna. This is a very important point. That order of Krishna comes through disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Machita sarva durgani matprasada darshasi asatitvam ahankaran nashishasi vinakshati. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So here Krishna is very clear. It's you surrender or you don't surrender. That if you become conscious of me, you surpass all obstacles. But if you don't do that, then you have to act to false ego. And you will be lost. What does it mean to be lost? We lose the consciousness of our real self. So we are lost. We identify with the machine, which Krishna will describe the machine in the next verses. The body is a machine. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. Why do we suffer? Why in the mind? Because we are attached to something. In the misconception, I and mine. But if we know every moment we can go from here, what's the use to worry about anything in this world? Yes. Look, Guru Prabhu, do you still worry about all the problems you had in your previous life? No. No? Someone does here? No. So why are we worrying about all the problems in this life so much? So much anxiety. Because we think, yes.
You're the controller.
controller, false ego, that's all. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort and he gives himself to his friend. So that's a relationship with Krishna. That Krishna is a person and he really reciprocates with us. That he gives himself to his friend who is devotedly engaged, working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore no one should be carried away by the false ego of the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself. Losing himself. Himself means the spirit soul. That in the material whirlpool, in the ocean of birth and death, no conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But the person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. But in the next verse, Krishna warns, if you are not Krishna consciousness, what will happen? Arjuna does not want to fight. That if he does not fight for Krishna, what will happen? Arjuna says, "Oh, I become a beggar." But Krishna indirectly is saying here, you become a beggar, okay, but if you will hear that Yudhishthira Maharaj is in trouble on the battlefield, still by your nature you will come and fight. So, yat ankaram ashritya nayotsya iti manyase mityasa pyavasayaste pakasistvam niyokshati. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Actually, he was considering himself the master of his actions, Arjuna. If he were directing the good and bad results of such work, he forgot that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present there, instructing him to fight. That is forgetfulness of the conditioned soul. The Supreme Personality gives directions as to what good is good and what is bad, and simply one has to act in Krishna consciousness to attain perfection of life. No one should neglect the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the order of the spiritual master, who is a representative of God. One should act unhesitatingly to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That will keep one safe under all circumstances. So Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda, they went on Harinam and this Sankirtan. They were going to all the houses and begged them, please accept his holy name, chant about Krishna, hear about Krishna. So that was the request. Because that was the order of Lord Chaitanya. And that's the order to all of us, to spread Krishna consciousness. And that will keep one safe under all circumstances, as long as we are engaged in the spreading of Krishna consciousness. That's in the mission of the spiritual master, executing the order. That, but if we don't follow this order, we are in illusion. Svabhava yena kantya nibada sphina karmana kartum nesasiyan mohat karisya avasopisat. Under illusion you are now declining to act according to my direction, but compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same. If one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, is compelled by the three modes in which he is situated. One becomes a puppet of the three modes. You have that picture with Maya, three modes. Well, yeah, and like puppet on a string. And that's what we are. That's all. And we become absorbed in the mind. That once we are, sometimes we are crying, sometimes we are laughing. It's all done by Maya. That, and we identify with that, and we suffer. That, and we forget. We become absorbed in the subtle and the gross machine of the material body. It's a machine. Ishvara sarvabhutanam ityasayunatistati. Brahmayam sarvabhutani yantraudaya maya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities. We are seated as on a machine made of material energy. We are in this machine in the heart. And the Super Soul is making the machine work, is directing the machine. After changing bodies, the living entity forgets his past deeds, but the Super Soul, as a knower of past, present and future, remains the witness of all activities. You cannot hide anything for Krishna. He knows your desire before you know it. Because desire comes from the soul, but we cannot perceive the desire of the soul unless Krishna brings it into our consciousness. So he knows it before what we desire. That's interesting. Therefore, all the activities of all living entities are directed by this Super Soul. The living entity gets what he deserves and is carried by the material body, which is created in the material energy under the direction of the Supreme Lord, the Super Soul. As soon as the living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of that body's situation. We are bound by the limitations of the body. We are bound by, we learned before, by the kshetra. And we have to play within the playground of the kshetra. We cannot go out. That we cannot say, oh, I'm walked to the door. Not possible. That is, I will not go. I cannot fly like a bird. No, not the right body. I cannot enter fire. No, also not the right body. So we are restricted to this planet, this little shell on this planet. That's our prison house where we are. A person seated in a high-speed motor car goes faster than one seated in a slower car. Without living entities, the drivers may be the same. Different cars. And some may be very, very proud of their car, very beautiful car. Anyway, different cars, different bodies also, different bodies, different capabilities of the body. Krishna Prabhu is a real yogi, and that's I cannot imagine doing what he is doing, but anyway, I'm trying to follow in the footsteps. Different bodies, different capabilities we get. So the individual is always under the Lord's control. Therefore, one's duty is to surrender, and thus is an injunction in the next verse. Yeah, next verse is dus about surrender. Tamive sharanam gacha sarvabhuvena bharata tat prasada param samtim stanam papyasi ashvatam. A sign of Bharat, surrender unto him utterly, by which grace you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and the eternal abode. That all liberty should therefore surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kinds of miseries of his material existence. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all miseries in this life, but at the end he will reach the Supreme God. Yes?
Why Krishna is speaking in like he's speaking to someone else, for someone else, surrender unto him by his grace. He doesn't he speak about himself?
He speaks about himself, but about the super soul.
Okay.
That's to him, the super soul. Surrender. Follow. Krishna consciousness means following the dictations of the super soul. That, yes. So, a living entity should therefore surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is situated in everyone's heart. That will release him from all kind of miseries of this material existence. People do not understand that. How just by serving Krishna you can get rid of all miseries. That because you are acting as a spirit soul, and you forget about the body. Acting by using one's BMW, body, mind and words in the service of Krishna, right? Like Maharaj Pariksit was hearing for nearly 7 days and he forgot about thirst, hunger, everything. Can you do that? Not drinking for so many days? I don't know. But you try. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all miseries in this life, but at the end, he will reach the Supreme God, released from the miseries in this life. The miseries in this life comes from previous lives. That all is burnt away, we heard in the 4th chapter. Ite jenam akyatam Guyatram maya pimshricheta asheshena yatishas tataku. Thus I have explained to you knowledge, still more confidential. Deliberate in this fully, and do what you wish to do. Yatishasi tataku. That one devotee said to me that that's the only instruction really that I'm following from Krishna. Yatashishas tataku. Do what you wish to do. But it means here, of course, he has given all the knowledge, and it's up to us now how to deal with that. Krishna says, yes, you surrender unto me, that otherwise you will be lost. You act out of false ego, you will be lost. So now it's up to us what we wish to do. We don't believe it, try it out. But can try it out for many, many lifetimes. But yeah, devotees experience just by practicing Krishna consciousness. Yes, my quality of life changes suddenly. Because it comes for the better. Here the word Yatishas Tataku, as you like, you may act, indicate that God does not interfere with the little independence of the living entity. What is that little independence? We can desire what we want. That's our independence. That's our only independence. But if we don't want to surrender to Krishna, but to do something else, we get a body and we are under control of material nature, we forget our real self, we are lost. The best advice imparted to Arjuna is to surrender unto the super soul seated within his heart. So here it is, surrender unto the super soul. Therefore, surrender unto him in the previous verse means the super soul. Is that clear? By right discrimination, one should agree to act according to the order of the super soul. Before surrendering, one is free to deliberate on this subject as far as the intelligence goes. That is the best way to accept the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such instruction comes also through the spiritual master, the bona fide spirit representative of Krishna. And now Krishna is going to say, I'm going to give my supreme instruction, the most confidential. I gave already many confidential instructions, but that's the most confidential instructions, to think at Krishna every moment. That's the most, yes. And then he will give these two verses. Man manava mad bhakto machimam noskuru mama satyam te pratja priyosime. So you must know this verse because it's the most confidential. Savadayam Prichiyam Amakam Sram Vacham Kvansor Babhyam Matsya. He gives these deep instructions. So, because you are my very dear friend, I'm speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this for me, for this is for your benefit. So if we become Krishna's friend, then he gives us confidential knowledge. That he gives the most confidential part of knowledge, just surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of 9th chapter he says, Man mana above mad bhakto. Yeah, just always think of me. The same is repeated here, the stress, the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So, what's the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita? Man mana above mad bhakto machime. Man namaskar man vaishatyam te patichani priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. You will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my very dear friend. So become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. And first think of me. So that 4 instructions. 4 instructions. Remember, 1155, we had 5 instructions. That mat karma krit mat paramo mat bhakta saravarchita nivra savabhutesu ya samamita paniva. Engage in my pure devotion and service, free from contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation. Evil works for me, makes me the supreme goal of his life, and his friendly to all living entities certainly comes to me. So these are practices leading up to man mano bhav mad bhakto, always thinking of Krishna.
This is which verse, Maharaj?
1155, last verse of the 11th chapter. Can be a point for your exam, the 5 most important instructions Krishna gave at the end of the 11th chapter. The most confidential part of knowledge is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of him and act for him. One should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout 24 hours he cannot but think of Krishna. How to organize our life? That's by working for Krishna. it's not artificial. One must purify the heart really to always think of Krishna. The heart is not pure, the mind will go somewhere else. So we have to purify the mind. It's not artificial. We chant Hare Krishna and thinking of Krishna, not easy. Not easy thing to do. The mind is offering mostly on an other level. An automatic pilot is going on. But as we become pure, that will happen. Everyone who follows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Krishna. So everyone who follows the path of Arjuna and becomes a dear friend to Krishna, becoming a dear friend of Krishna. One should fix his mind on the original form of Godhead Krishna. One should not divert his attention to other forms of the Lord. It's an important instruction. We don't fix our mind on Varadev while chanting Hare Krishna, but on the form of Krishna. Concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is disclosed to Arjuna because Arjuna is the most dear friend of Krishna. And then Sarvadram Parichayam Mamkam Sarvadram Tvam Sarvapapya Mukshi Satin Machicha. Krishna says, just surrender unto me. So it means Krishna says here, I explains this karma yoga, this jnana yoga, this is Ashtanga yoga, but now you forget about all this. You forget about all these processes. Just surrender unto me. That surrender will save one from all sinful actions, for the Lord promises to protect them. So just doing karma yoga, or jnana yoga, you will not change your desire in the heart. Only Bhakti yoga changes your desire, because it may purify the heart, but the desire does not change. Then you do the same stupid thing. You have the example of Vishwamitra, who was doing tapasya for 10,000 celestial years, and then Indra became worried. He becomes too powerful. He's going to get my post, and and he arranged for Menaka to send Menaka down, and we know the story that he fell down just by hearing the ankle bells. That means his heart may be pure, but the desire is still there to enjoy. So that means that it's not really pure. That the contamination, the sinful reactions are gone, but still the desire is there. So that doesn't work. Only Bhakti Yoga works. Surrender to Krishna works. But so even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Krishna, is automatically free. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all activities are in vain. That's explained in the Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, Canto 1. It's Shrama Eva Kevalam. It's all useless labor. Anything that does not lead to the perfection of the states of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. Yeah, that you can put that on your checklist. If you want to do it, to do something, look at it and say, is that will that lead me to the perfectional state of Krishna consciousness doing that? One should be confident that in all circumstances Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna only the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. And becomes free from all contamination of material nature. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. When he becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna, is fortunate. When he is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Krishna himself is the most perfect transcendentalist. The particular words used, masucha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms of and simple surrender to Krishna. Why such worry is useless. Now Krishna has given his supreme instruction that now he will first say after that, that this instruction, these confidential instructions, you cannot just give to everyone. You can change the name. And that's quite an interesting instruction. Idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na sasusave vajam na samam yo vyasuyati. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted, who are engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Something to be careful with that in preaching. That one can say, how do I know that someone is envious and not austere? How do you know it? It's very difficult. Try to give them a book. You will know very quickly. that envious. Yeah. So the first principle here is one should not instruct those who do not want to be instructed. Who do not want to be instructed by you. Don't do it. Many make the error to preach to their parents. But they are superior and they don't want to be instructed by you. Mostly that goes wrong. That if one neglects this point, one can get very heavy reactions that it's confidential knowledge, the supreme instructions. To those who are not austere. Those who are not austere, that means, too much in the passion and ignorance. But especially, it says envious. Therefore, the Madhyamadikar sees for that's a platform that we should reach in this life. Srila Prabhupada said, but we should try to become a Madhyamadikar. It's a high platform, Madhyamadikar. It's a liberated platform. Brahmabhuta Prashnatma Shostina Kankshata. It's a liberated platform, the Madhyamadikar. And that's explained to Havya Yogendra, to Ishvara tadadina shubhalsya trivachusam prema maitra kipo peksha yat karoti samathyama. That's called a madhyam adhikar. When we sees four categories, sees the Supreme Lord, and recognize who are devotees, who are innocent, and the one who are envious, four categories. And he has a different relationship with them, and that's what Krishna wants here. That's this different relationship, that's all to act. Relationship with Krishna, we want to love Krishna. The relationship with the devotees, we want to have friendship, Maitri, friendship. Prema is for Ishvara.
Who is
In Kripa or mercy, one should give to the innocent. Preach to them. But not preaching, not giving mercy to the Dvisatsu. To the Dvisatsu Upeksha. We are going to neglect them. Neglect avoid the envious. So that's the standard of behavior of a preacher. Sometimes devotees want to be more merciful, but best just to give them a book. What will your 2 minutes preaching do to them? Nothing. That will do nothing. Give them a book, then when they read a book, Prabhupada is preaching to them. That's much more powerful. And he may be able to do something, but envious, best to avoid them. Envious means they are against devotional service. That envious, they are unfaithful in Krishna. Ninth offense against the holy name. Don't explain the secret of the chanting of the holy name, the powers of the holy name, to one who has no faith. It's also in the ninth offense.
So Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, Adi Leela, that in our Hare Krishna movement there are many people in the dress of a devotee, those are envious. Just ignore them. It's Adi Leela, I forgot the verse number and chapter number.
Yeah.
He talks about that.
Yeah, that's even in our movement. That's also in the...
First he talks about Gaudiya Math, then he talks about ISKCON.
Yeah. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada has experienced that personally. That they could not take it that his disciples would call him Prabhupada. That many would not appreciate. That's in nectar of instruction, in a purport. Could not appreciate that he had spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. This requires a special empowerment of Krishna. So yes, they were envious. That's true. So we have to be careful. Sure. Devotee means not changing outside dress.
Prabhupada also said that very strong in the purport. Those who are envious, they are not devotees.
Yeah. Well, that's our disease. That's why we are in this material world. Envy. Envy is cause of our material disease. Actually, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is not understandable to those who are sensuous. So what's the use to explain to them? They cannot understand anything what you are saying. You can try to explain it nicely, but they will not understand. They will not accept. Even if one is not sensuous but is strictly following the principles enjoined in Vedic scriptures, if he is not a devotee, he can also not understand Krishna. That's what we are discussing here. You can follow all the principles, so-called, but yeah. And even when one poses himself as a devotee of Krishna but is not engaged in Krishna conscious activities, he also cannot understand Krishna. There are many persons who are envious of Krishna. Such persons should not be told Bhagavad Gita, for they cannot understand. There is no possibility of faithless persons to understand Bhagavad Gita and Krishna. Without understanding Krishna from the authority of a pure devotee, one should not try to comment upon Bhagavad Gita. But now, still we have to preach. And he stresses us in the next verse. What's the result of one who preaches pure devotional service? Yaidam paranam goyam mat bhaktesa vidishyati bhakti mai pramkritva mamaveshat asamsaya. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. That's the benediction Krishna gives. Just. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the subject matter for the devotees only, and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional states. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Nasatasman manasyasya Kashime priyakritama bhavitana sametasma anya priyatarobhuve. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. That's quite a statement that Krishna wants us clearly to preach, right? Adyastaya sayaimam Dhamyam samvadam afyayo Jnana jahyena tenaham Istayam iti memati. And I declare, he who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So we are now worshipping Krishna all because we are studying Bhagavad Gita. At least now, for the time that we do that, we are safe. Shadavan anasuyasa Shurya api yonaram Sopi mukta suballokam Prapnuyat punyakarmanam. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. That. So why is Krishna saying that here? Because the planets to where the pious plan. One who listens with faith and without envy. In the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Bhagavad Gita being spoken to those who are non-envious. In other words, for the devotees only. But it so happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open classes, and in that class not all the students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there remain many who are envious of Krishna. They have faith in him. They have faith in him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about Lord Krishna, the result is that they become free from the sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary systems where all righteous persons are situated. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the results of religious activities. So this verse is not for those who are trying for pure devotion. But there are still other motivations. Still they go to this planet.
Maharaj, here auspicious planets means like higher planets in the material world.
Well, where the pious dwell, you have different destinations according to different consciousness they have developed. That if they still want strongly to enjoy, they go to the heavenly planets to enjoy. If they desire really to become pure, then they go to Janaloka, Tapaloka, Mahaloka, Satyaloka. That's all in the Bhagavatam explained. But they're also they are practically that above piety. That they are nearly in Suddha Sattva. Lord Brahma, Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka. That because they get a different body also.
But still pious planets refer to the planets in the material world. Not
In the material world, yeah, that's not the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world there is no question of piety, impiety. Everything is transcendental good. That, yeah.
Maharaj, so maybe these people in some life they will take some advantage to start some progress of tapasya or something like to clean this envy a little bit, and after that maybe it's preaching to them, or they have no chance otherwise.
Yeah, that's Krishna says this envious I throw them in the lowest species of life. But they can come out if they get somewhere or other mercy.
Krishna Prasad.
Krishna Prasad. Yes.
Also, another thing I was listening about the Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna is speaking, and his mood is here tamam prapadante tanstatira bhajamyaham. But in Gaurlila, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila, he has the mood of Srimati Radharani, who is the most merciful. So he's instructing everybody, whoever you meet, wherever you meet him, speak about Bhagavad Gita. So the mood is a bit different,
Yeah.
and still the consciousness should be there. But
Lord Nityananda followed them, and he preached to Jagai and Madai. What was the result, you think?
Jagamata is not envious, they are sinful.
Simple, yeah.
They are not envious. They are only simple.
Simple.
And Vrindavan Thakur says that they got Krishna Bhakti because they did not have any chance to criticize people, because they are so absorbed in
Yeah, they were so in ignorance that the mode of ignorance that they were not even aware of it.
Mahaprabhu also didn't give mercy to the envious and critical people. So they cannot get.
Yeah.
Sinful they can get.
Envious like in Varanasi.
They are not envious, because they are critical. Yeah, you can relate.
Mm. Yeah, at the same time that we should not think ourselves to be Lord Nityananda. Better to follow Krishna's instruction. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the results of righteous activities. Thus, a pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from all sinful reactions and become a devotee of the Lord. To become free from, the pure devotee gives everyone a chance to become free from sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord. So, preaching means using one's intelligence to make strategies to get everyone into Krishna consciousness one way or another. That I remember Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was going to the libraries with suit, tie, with a wig on his head. And he distributed so many that he make plans to smuggle books into Russia. was very risky. He did all these things, taking risks to. Generally, those who are free from simple reaction, those who are righteous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. Those who are righteous in performing devotional service, but who are not pure, can attain planetary systems of the pole star. This is an example of a pious planet. The righteous that were not pure. Or Dhruvaloka, where Dhruva Maharaj is presiding, is a great devotee of the Lord, and he has a special planet called Pole Star. Text 72. Kashitita Shutam Parta Tvayaka Grena Shitasa Kashtahyana Sama Pranatas Dhananja. Son of Prita, conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Are your ignorance now dispelled? So everyone who hears from a bona fide spiritual master in the right mood, dat Vinapanapana Pariprashna Sivita Upadekshan Diteghanam Gyanas Tattvadarshana, he will get also free from his doubts, his ignorance. Any person fortunate to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. So we get the same result if we take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Arjuna Uvacha Nasta Moa Smiti Labdatat Prasadamayuchate Stitasmi Gata Sandhya Krishi Vachnam Tama. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I've regained my memory by your mercy. I'm now firm and free from doubt and prepared to fight according to your instructions. He heard a lot, Arjuna. He's convinced. He saw how all those from the other side, and most of his side will die, he knows. He's assured of the result already. He has only to be the instrument. The conditional position of divinity represented by Arjuna is that he has to act according to the order of the Supreme Lord. He's meant for self-discipline. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the actual position of the living entity is that of the eternal sinful, the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Forgetting this principle, its living entity becomes conditioned by material nature. But in serving the Supreme Lord, he becomes liberated, the liberated servant of God. The living entity's constitutional position is to be a servitor. He has to serve either the illusory Maya or the Supreme Lord. So, if we are not servitor of Krishna, we are sinful. Sinful means being envious. It's not that one is sinful and gets a lot of sinful reactions and is not envious. Having a body means you have been envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's a very important principle. That one can be free from sinful reactions, but that does not mean that one envy is gone. That's not the same. Because the desire to lord over may still be there.
Mm-hmm.
So only Bhakti Yoga is solving that problem.
Maharaj, how this not engaged in devotional service equal to sinful relates to the four categories, and especially to the innocent that you mentioned in descriptions of Madhyamadika?
Say it again.
Like you say that sinful means one who is not engaged in devotional service to Krishna. Yes? And how that relates to the innocent category of people that you mentioned in the description of Madhyamadikar.
Yeah, innocent does not mean that all one's envy is gone, but one is not against devotional service. That's what it means. But the envious mentioned here in the fourth category means that I'm against devotional service. That's Ashura. That's the point.
We are all envious, that's why we are here.
That's why we are here. And unless
we understand
the desire changes,
gradually,
that goes from exploitation to serving, one is envious. No way. In illusion, the living entity is serving in this material world. He is bound by his lust and desires, yet he thinks himself as the master of the world. When a person is liberated, the illusion is over. One understands I'm not a master. The last illusion, the last snare of Maya to trap the living entity is the proposition that he is God. The living entity thinks that he is no longer a conditioned soul, but God. Anyway, these are all these illusions. That's to come, because this verse is about becoming free from illusion. The word Moha is very important in this verse. Moha refers to that which is opposed to knowledge. Actually, real knowledge is understanding that every living being is eternally a servitor of the Lord. But instead of thinking oneself in that position, the living entity thinks that he is not a servant, that he is a master of this material world. So, means here that he has understood, yes, I have to act according to the instructions of Krishna. That when Arjuna understood that it was Krishna's plan to reduce the unnecessary increase of population, he agreed to fight according to Krishna's design. And now we come back to Sanjaya and King Dhritarashtra. The Bhagavad Gita started with Sanjaya and King Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya Vacha Ityam Vasudevasya Partasya Samahatmana Samvadam Iyam Asrasam Adbudam Roma Maharsanam. Sanjaya said, thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and as wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. Vyasa Prasada Shuttavan Etagoyam Hamparam Yogam Yogesvara Krishna Saksa Katayatasvaram. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard the most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. So, at the end of the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada writes, actually there is no difference between Arjuna hearing from Krishna or the disciple hearing from the bona fide spiritual master. The spiritual master is representative of Vyasadeva. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, on the birthday of the spiritual master, the disciples conduct a ceremony called Vyasa Puj. Vyasa Puj ceremony. Yes. Gachan samsmita samsvitya samvatam iyam abduban keshavarayonayo punyam vishami samohu. O King, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. The result of Krishna consciousness is that one becomes increasingly enlightened and he enjoys life with a thrill, not only for some time, but every moment. So Krishna consciousness, if you take the Krishna consciousness, your life will never become boring. You will get into an adventure. That's the Samskrita Rupam Atyat Buddhamari Vishmayo Memhan Rajan Rishami Sapunapana. O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. Now the last verse. Yatra Gureshvara Krishna Yatra Parto Danuktara Tatra Shirvijyor Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Whenever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. That is my opinion. So here, Dhritarashtra does not want to hear that. Because that's the answer of the question of the first verse. Dharmakshatra Kurukshatra Samaveta Yutsava Mama Kapanavashiva Kimakurupatu Saina. So what are my sons doing, he says, that in the beginning, but he's fearful about the outcome of the battle, because he knows Krishna is at their side. And he knows Kurukshetra is a holy place, and my sons are not so holy, so what was going to they affect me? And here the Sanjaya tells him, you have no chance of victory. Forget it. Some may protest that Krishna incited Arjuna to fight. Yeah, sometimes people who don't understand Bhagavad Gita said, well, what is this? Krishna just wants Arjuna to fight. He says it 6 times, he says it in Bhagavad Gita. That's to commit violence. That's Bhagavad Gita. Incited Arjuna to fight, which is immoral, but in reality the situation is clearly stated. Bhagavad Gita is supreme instruction in morality. So, whatever pleases Krishna is moral, and what's against this is immoral. The supreme instruction of morality is stated in the 9th chapter, in the 34th verse, Manmanoma Bhakta. One must become a devotee. That's the supreme moral instruction. And the essence of all religion is surrender unto Krishna. From Bhagavad Gita we can understand to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process, but to fully surrender to Krishna is the highest perfection. The actual truth is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the Absolute Truth, is realized in 3 features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Perfect knowledge of the Absolute Truth means knowledge of Krishna. So in Bhagavad Gita, 5 subject matter has been discussed. That's Ishvara, Prakriti, Jiva, Kala, Karma. Nothing is different from the Supreme. But the Supreme is always different from everything. That's the Abheda Veda Chintya Tattva philosophy. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. This system of philosophy constitutes the perfect knowledge of the Absolute Truth. The living entity in its original position is pure spirit, just like an atomic particle of Supreme Spirit. In other words, the living entity is situated between 2 energies of the Lord. So it's marginal energy. And because he belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he becomes under direct order of Krishna. Thus he attains his normal condition in the pleasure-giving potency. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purpose of the 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the conclusion, its perfection of enunciation. So, any further questions? So, you have understood the whole Bhagavad Gita?
Perfectly.
Anyway, we will go over it again, starting this afternoon. That we will try to prepare you for the exam together and go over all the chapters again.